Hi amazing artists, it's Mrs. Blair. I'm really excited about our first project together, and we will be focusing on complementary colors. If we look over at our icon statements along with our objective, this will give us a little heads up of what we will be learning about today. I can create an art piece using the complementary colors. And then our icon statements include, I can identify complementary colors on the color wheel. I can define repetition. This is talking about, now the next thing is actually creating. I can create an art piece focusing on complementary colors. And as always, show craftsmanship. Remember, craftsmanship is high quality. All right, so let's get right into it. Our two vocabulary words today are complementary colors and repetition. Let's go through complementary colors first. So I'm going to probably back out of the screen a little bit so you can see the color wheel better. So we have the color wheel right here. We have our primary colors, we have our secondary colors, and those are things we learned about when we were a little bit younger. Now we're moving on to complementary colors. These are colors that complement each other, which means they look good together. If you put them together, one will make the other one kind of pop out, and that's why they're used. To be able to identify the complementary colors, you have to go through and across the color wheel. So the first grouping we're going to focus on is yellow, and the complementary color to yellow is purple. So I'm just going to put Y and P, okay? The next one is red. So again, remember we have to walk across our color wheel. So we have red and green. And somebody said Christmas colors, so that's another way to think about it. And finally, orange, walk across that color wheel to blue. So let's go orange and blue. Okay, so you might want to write this down at your house in case, I know most of you don't have a color wheel like the art room hanging on your wall. So again, yellow, purple, we've got blue and orange, and finally red and green. So again, if we look at our icon statements, we can knock off, boom, identify complementary colors on the color wheel. The next one of our vocabulary words is repetition. Okay, and you guys probably already know repetition, but I have to ask, so think in your head, repetition, repetition. All right, repetition is when you repeat something. So in art, oh, that doesn't look like a great T. So in art, a lot of times with repetition, we'll either repeat shapes, we'll repeat lines, we'll repeat colors. Okay, and so for this one, we are going to be repeating lines using the complementary colors. So again, repetition means to repeat. So if I make this line, I can repeat it, and keep going. All right, just stay tuned and I'm going to give you a step-by-step directions on how to create your complementary colors using your lines. All right, now we're ready to gather our supplies for our complementary color repeated line project. So the very first thing you need is a piece of paper to draw on. You will also need a pencil or a permanent marker. You will also need either crayons or markers using the complementary colors. So again, we have blue and orange are complementary colors. We have purple and yellow and green and red. And look at, they're going to start rolling away from me. So the very first thing you do is, if you do not have a black permanent marker, then I suggest drawing in pencil first. Because if not, if you just draw with a black washable marker and then you try to add colors later, they'll kind of bleed into each other and make kind of a mess on your project. So I am going to go straight to a permanent marker though, just so that you're able to see it. Okay. And all we're doing is repeating these lines. If you notice my original picture, what it is a smaller piece of paper. You can cut your paper in half or whatever you have available. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a line. And then I'm going to repeat it. And repeat it one more time. You can repeat it as many times as you'd like. It is up to you because it is your art piece. Then the next step is I'm going to make some other lines, again, maybe in a different direction. And I'm repeating the same line over and over again. Maybe over here, I'm going to start with those wavy lines again. And I have to repeat them. Even if they start overlapping, like right here, you pretend you go all of the way and then keep going. Once you fill your entire space with your drawing, then comes the fun part of adding the complementary colors. So again, you see my yellow is next to my purple, my green is next to my red. I've got, again, purple and yellow. Those are my two favorite combinations. And also you have blue and orange together. So that is a great way to use complementary colors and repeated lines. Well, thank you for joining me, and I cannot wait to see what you create.